Today we're going to cover 10 things that most players overlooked in the most recent Town Hall 16 update in Clash of Clans. What's going on, my friends? My name is Joe. Welcome back to the show. And the Town Hall 16 update was an exciting addition to the game, but there were some things added or changed that we're going to discuss in this video. So let's start with the most obvious one, being the addition of 4 new defensive buildings called the Multi-Archer Tower and Ricochet Cannon. The only reason why I'm mentioning these is because a lot of players might have missed the fact that 4 archer towers and cannons were removed when players completed the new defensive merger, which will change how those high-level bases will look in comparison to Town Hall 15 and below. Sort of confusing for some people who do not stay up to date with the most recent Clash news. By the way, if you were wondering, Clash of Clans made this change because they want to keep the building count under 100 buildings so the high-level bases do not become any more complex than they already are. One of the biggest complaints by normal Clash players throughout 2022 is that Town Hall 15 was very hard. So the Clash team decided in this update they would alter the difficulty of that level by reducing the power of multiple defensive buildings. The Rage Tower, which was previously one of the most devastating buildings, has now had its radius reduced from 6 to 5 tiles. Also, they reduced the damage boost, which affected the defensive buildings around them from 90% to 60%. So those boosted expos and scatter shots are not quite as powerful as they were before. Another thing a lot of you guys feared was that poison bomb that dropped by the weapon at Town Hall 14 and 15. So Clash reduced the poison duration from 16 seconds to 12. Might not seem like a lot, but it will help overall. And the last big one was that the level 2 monolith has had its damage per second reduced from 200 to 175. The next change is more cosmetic, and most of you probably thought it was either a bug or a glitch, but Clash of Clans decided to remove 2 of the archers that stood on top of the normal archer towers. Honestly, this was always more of a visually pleasing aspect because the archer tower itself has always been a single shot defense. This change was made to avoid any confusion players might have had when comparing the archer tower to the new multi-archer tower defense. At number 7, we have to mention the cost and time reductions for lower town hall levels in the game. You see, this happens every time a new town hall level is introduced to Clash of Clans based on all the past trends, because I think the Clash team wants to maintain a 4-year timeline for free-to-play players to possibly max out their home village, although that's still a really long time. Now, there were so many prices and times changed that I really can't cover all of them in this section, but what I will say is that my clanmates were really happy to discover that the prices on their heroes drastically reduced so they can potentially max them out faster. For our next change, if you tap the army camps, you will notice that a new button was added so you can activate a training potion boost. Now, this one's super mediocre to mention, but at the same time, it feels like something that should have been there the entire time because the army camps house the troops from the barracks. If you are a hyperactive player who farms resources a lot with sneaky goblins, you'll be happy to know that Clash added the ability to partially train an army via the quick train tab instead of preventing the army from being trained if not enough army camp space was left. This one is very welcome because sometimes I just need a few sneaky goblins to fill up my army camps when my army's boosted. At number 4, we have more of a quality of life change for players. If you go to train an army you have saved in your quick train tab that has super troop options in it, but you do not have super troops actively boosted, there is now a notification that will pop up and send you to the sauna to start those boosts. The only problem here is that when you boost those super troops, you still have to back out of the sauna, then go back into the army training tab to train the army. So technically, this change needs a little bit more work. Most of you consume a lot of Clash video content and more than likely know this change already, but think about those players that are on a break and they come back a year from now to find that the hero abilities no longer upgrade with the hero levels themselves. This was something that's been untouched for over 9 years since the Barbarian King and Archer Queen gained the first Iron Fist and Royal Cloak abilities back in January of 2014. So that hero ability upgrades every 5 hero levels rule no longer applies. Now, in order to upgrade those abilities, you must have the blacksmith building and use the new ore resources to level them up. I will say that I hope that Clash adds more ways for us to collect those new ore resources because honestly, I don't have a ton of time to war every other day. But let me know down in the comments below how you feel about this subject. At number 2, we have the secret changes that were made to the power potion and the hero potion. Now the power potion temporarily temporarily boost troops, spells, and siege machines to the maximum level allowed at your Town Hall level for 1 hour, instead of the maximum level of the laboratory like it was before. Also, the hero potion has been changed to temporarily boost heroes and pets to the maximum level allowed for your Town Hall for 1 hour. So these changes help those of you that are rushed more than anybody else, because if you're like a rush Town Hall 15 or Town Hall 16, you can use these potions to boost your offense to the same levels the top players in the game have. And then we have the changes to friendly challenges where you can now attack your own home village or builder base village. But keep in mind that the 24-hour cooldown for base edits still exists, so you will not be able to copy your enemy's base and practice on it before doing a war attack. I would recommend using this feature if you would like to practice with new attack strategies and try something other than Electro Dragons.